Welcome back. This is Firecrackers. Wherever you're watching from around the world, we are live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. In just a moment, we'll cross over live to the ancient city of Ibadan, the Yossi capital, where APC chieftain joins us live on the program. He's the outgoing publicity secretary of the All Progressives Congress, as we get some analysis and perspective on the crisis rocking the APC in Oyo State. Just a few days ago, we understand that a chieftain of that party, the outgoing chairman of that party, Chief OK, also had pointed fingers to a former governor of the state as being responsible for the division experience in the All Progressives Congress. Perhaps we can cross over live now to Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Dr. Abdulaziz Olatunde, outgoing publicity secretary, Oyo State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, as well as the chieftain of the party, joins us live on the program. Good to have you join us on the program this afternoon, Dr. Olatunde. Yes, so, well, yes, good to have you with us. I'm not sure where we stand right now with things at the party. Perhaps you can explain to us why you are placed as outgoing and when is your tenure supposed to expire. Let's get things started from there.
Actually, the tenure of the current ESCO is supposed to expire by June 2022. That is June 2022. But by virtue of the remodeling, restructuring being carried out by the Convention and Extraordinary Committee led by His Excellency Governor Mai Malabuni, we want to try as much, the party wants to try as much as possible to make sure that the APC executive comes on board, not on the same year that the Congress that is going to elect the party candidates for positions, elected position in government, does not come in the same year. That is why the sacrifice the current executive of the party across board in the country is making to cede some of the months, at least, for the new and incoming executive of the party. That's exactly the position of things as far as the tenure, is all about.
Dr. Latunde, perhaps we could also get an insight to your part of the story of what the issues are. Why is the APC in Oyo State in such a big crisis? It's lingered for quite some time now, even after the congresses.
Yes. The bigger the headache, I want to credit this to the late president-elect that was never sworn in, late Chief Mashudi Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, MKO Abiola of blessed memory. He says, and I quote, that the bigger the head, the bigger is the headache. Don't forget that the party is blessed with a lot of political gladiators. When I say gladiators, I'm talking about the people that are vying to rule Oyo State. And take it or leave it. You cannot tell me that somebody like Adebayo Adelabu, former Deputy Governor Central Bank, is not competent enough to rule Oyo State. Likewise, we have distinguished Senator Abdul Fattah Buhari, distinguished Senator Teslim Folari, Dr. Aziz Popola Adedotan, and you can continue to mention on and on and on that are just to rule Oyo State. When you have these people of quality, I mean, not forgetting even mentioning the current minister for sports, Chief Sunday Dari. You have quite a lot of eminently qualified people that are jostling to rule Oyo State. And everybody is quite conversant that let me take the pardon of our listening audience that imagine somebody of a Chief Niyi Akintola, former Deputy Speaker of Oyo State in 1992, 93, darky type of civilian and military, kind of government who happened to be in the House of Assembly then, Chief Niyi Akintola, who is also Chief, or let me say engineer, or we can even say Magaji, Joseph Tegbe. When you mention all of these internationally, qualified and reputed candidates, you realize that APC is spoiled for choices. And perhaps this is what might have resulted in the desperation of some to get hold of the structure of the party, which to some is not too good. Because what is the big deal about holding the party executive, in your pocket? Because, okay, good enough. You realize that the National Assembly has just passed a law that the candidate of party is going to be elected under direct primary, not indirect, not consensus. So it means holding the structure of the party will have little or no impact on who emerges as the candidate of the party in the 2023 election. That might have been responsible for the desperation of some who are out to get the executive of the party in the state. Their own people, put it that way, quote and unquote, into the executive of the party in the state. And I think that is being resolved gradually. And I want to believe that when we'll be talking in terms of days or weeks now, you will realize that the festering crisis will be over with us.
Well, we hope so, even though the signs of ground does not appear so, Dr. Abdulaziz. I'm just wondering, the list that was submitted to the National Secretariat, I understand 2 lists were submitted about the state executives to the National Secretariat. Any feedback just yet from the National Secretariat of your party, the CECPC, as regards the list of state executives?
Let me say this without any equivocation or without any ambiguity, that the party has been able to generate one harmonized list. The other lists that are being touted in the public domain is the list of some of the desperados in the party. And desperados in the sense that, you can imagine we have about 8 or 9 gladiators jostling for the governorship ticket. And for just one person to take it upon himself to feel that he can impose the executive on others, is not being seen as democratic enough. Because actually, if some people want to become whatever in the party, and there is no agreement, which people call consensus, the next thing is you go to the field. You go to the field, and let's take it. Let me ask you a question which I don't expect you to answer. The Mai Mala Buni executive in Abuja has been able to repudiate and renounce that they did not assign anybody to come and do the Congress held on the 38th of October in Ibadan. Thereby, nullifying the list, which people are seen as the second list, nullifying that list, from the public domain. So, and if that is the case, the only one left will be assumed to be the authentic list generated for the party in Oyo State. So, any assumption that two lists
is there?
To the best of my knowledge and to the best of the knowledge of 95% of the members of the party in Oyo State, is null and void.
Dr. Dualis, it's interesting conversations with you about your party. Well, the crisis, according to reports, seems to be getting messier. But let me take you up on something which the caretaker or outgoing caretaker chairman was quoted as saying, Chief Akin-Oke. I want to believe you are on the same page with Chief Oke. He has accused a former governor of Oyo State, Chief Adebayo Alawakala, of engaging in undemocratic activities. He has pointed fingers at Chief Alawakala as causing the division in the APC in Oyo State. I wonder what your thoughts are as regards what the chairman has said, or the outgoing chairman has said. Well, I want to think you are on the same page. Is it that right?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You see, we want to thank Chief Adebayo, His Excellency Otumba Adebayo, Christopher Adebayo Alawakala, when he said something that he is not presenting himself for any contest again in 2023. We want to thank him enough for that. Be that as it may, what people are seeing with from the end of His Excellency Chief Adebayo Alawakala is what might have been responsible for the release of the outgoing caretaker chairman, Baba Chief Akin-Oke, because Chief Adebayo Alawakala, is supposed to be a statesman. And when you say a statesman supposed not to have any interest in any of its subjects. And like I did say, if you have 8 or 9 or 10 people jostling for governorship tickets, and you as a statesman in their midst, I think what is ideal for, or what is ideal and ethical for such a man will have been, well, good luck to all of you. Whoever emerges becomes my candidate. Before emergence, no anointed candidate. But the feelers from the camp of His Excellency Otumba Adebayo Alawakala, moreover, even if others, informations that have been coming from the camp can be renounced. But the fact that the people from Abuja, or purported to have come of Abuja, for harmonization, were expected to come to the party secretariat, but all of a sudden, before you say Jack Robinson, we were seeing another release that another meeting should come and take place in the Bodija residence of His Excellency Chief Adebayo Alawakala. But of course I am not, if I were in the shoe of Chief Adebayo Alawakala, I would have, respect party as party supremacy. That whatever is to be held, whatever meetings to be held.
We have to begin to wind down our conversation. We're going to let you go in just a moment, but I will need to ask you a couple of questions just before I let you go. Just a moment, Dr. Abdulaziz Olatunde. Permit me to ask this question. I'm sorry to break your flow of thought. Would you refer to Chief Adebayo Alawakala as a godfather of the APC in Oyo State?
It can't be. How can somebody say he's a godfather? Only God is the father of everybody. If you are now putting somebody in the shoe of God, you are perhaps,
Would you refer to him as a political godfather?
I said there is no godfather for APC in your state. Only God is our father. Only God is our father. We don't.
Dr. Latunde, let me also ask you this question. Let's discuss the direct primaries. We'll come back to your party in just a moment. Let's discuss this issue of direct primaries before Mr. President in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill for a moment. Do you think, as some politicians have said, members of the National Assembly have said, that the passage of that bill, which of course has mandated the direct primaries principle, do you think that it will put an end to godfatherism in our political terrain, as we have witnessed in many parts of our elections?
I want to believe it should, but then there is no perfect modus operandi of electing candidates, because no rule that works in America, bringing it to Nigeria, sometimes fail. Something that works in United Kingdom, bring it to Nigeria, it failed. You remember that in the First Republic, we were in a parliamentary system of government. Because we saw the flaws, we decided to opt for American presidential type of government. The UK that we copy as parliamentarians, their parliamentary system of government, are still on their parliamentary system of government today, and it's working for them. We have decided to go American style, and the American system of government that we are copying is still working for America. But up till today, it is still an headache for us in Nigeria. So it all depends on the operator. Nigerian can be very funny, and I want to believe that it should end the issue of political godfatherism. But Nigerians, they can nullify any beautiful, organized former, for any former, thing, just because this is what they want. Nigeria are very good at, sidetracking brilliant things. So, but we want to believe that at least the issue of cornering maybe just a sizable number of people that are going to decide the candidate, at least will be minimal, because if you are saying all the members of the party should vote, that means if we have about 1 million members of the party in your state, how can you bribe 1 million people? Which I think should be very, very impossible.
Latunde, I would have to let you go in just a moment. It's interesting because you have said that you've dished out very interesting insights, even though you've not accepted that Chief Adebayo is probably a godfather in the APC, but you've accepted that we do have godfathers in Nigeria. Haven't you accepted that fact, even though you don't have one in the APC in all your states?
I have not accepted any godfather in politics of Nigeria. I have not accepted that, because whoever you have touted as godfather have also failed at some point in time. So if they are godfathers, they should not fail.
This crisis in your party, do you think that you stand a chance in 2023, especially in Oyo State?
Yes, we stand a very good chance. You see, all these, Ulabalu will soon be a thing of the past. It's just a matter of time. Like I always tell people, political crisis is just, like an hurricane, like a storm. Very soon, storm do, subside. By the time the storm subside, we will do what we call, reconciliation, realignment, and what have you. So whoever wins will have a very great job to do of moving to the losers, so that. But the reason why we are very cocksure of winning in 2023 is because the present government of the day in Oyo State has failed the people. Where do you want to look that you will not? Even just this afternoon, I got to know that there are some shooting in some areas of Ibadan, which is alien when APC was running the government, in 2011 to 2019. Likewise, look at the deaths all over the city of Ibadan, cholera breaking out. When you look at, a lot of anytime you puncture some of the lies of this government, they always tell you that after all, they are paying salary of workers. And we have been saying it that even without the governor, civil servants will collect their salary. So payment of salary is not an achievement. So the one they wanted to hype beyond normal, it was the stadium rehabilitation of Adamasingba. And as God will have it, the day they wanted to commission it, God, who is never, a friend of liars, brought heavy rain that
we have to let you go now, but I'm wondering if that testimony you're sharing with us is the testimony of Nigerians outside or your state about the APC administration. Is that testimony the same? Well, I'm not sure we have Dr. Olatunde with us. It does appear that maybe the network has frozen, but we've been speaking with a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress in Oyo State, Dr. Abdulaziz Olatunde, is the outgoing publicity secretary of the party in that state. This is Firecrackers. Let's take a breather. I'll be back in just a moment with more. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is Firecrackers. Wherever you're watching from around the world, we are live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. We're discussing the crisis rocking the All Progressive Congress in Oyo State, and we'll be chatting with the outgoing publicity secretary of that party, Dr. Abdulaziz Olatunde, live from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Dr. Abdulaziz, we lost connection with you for a moment. Perhaps we can continue our conversation, but I was asking you just a moment ago. Hopefully, you can frame yourself a bit better than what it is now. Just before we come to you, I was asking you just a moment ago if the testimony you're sharing about residents of Oyo State, if that testimony is the same as what we have outside Oyo State about the APC-led administration, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in the country at the moment. Do you think the APC stands a chance in 2023 at the general elections, considering the way things are right now?
It's because this government has failed the people in all ramifications. There is a smoldering crisis that is being, trying to play under the carpet. All over the ministries where they even say they pay salaries, there are a lot of, in fact, if I tell you some expose now, I will only allow them to go and perfect their record, but I will not want to expose it now until the campaign period starts. The government has failed the public, the government has failed the civil servant, the government has failed
Dr. Olatunde. My question right now is not on Oyo State. My question right now, Dr. Olatunde, just a moment, if you can hear me, so we can answer the question correctly. My focus at the moment is on the country, Nigeria as a nation, the Buhari-led administration. 6 years down the line, what's the story about the APC in this country at the moment? How would you describe the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC-led government, of course? Is the testimony same as what we are experiencing in Oyo State?
I want to tell you that, take it or leave it, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari has been able to rescue Nigeria from becoming a failed state. Imagine when the President Muhammadu Buhari was coming, out of 36 states, 30 states could not pay salaries. Out of 36 states, 3 that were able to pay were even holding deductions. So it was only 3 states, Rivers, Lagos, and Kano, that were holding their head above the water. So, but President Muhammadu Buhari has been able to rescue that. Not only that, look at all the chains of developmental programs. I know the critics and the cynics will say that they have been boring, but tell me, which country is not owing in the world? The greatest debtor in the whole world today is America, and they are still borrowing, but they are developing. So if somebody is saying that the government of President Muhammadu Buhari is borrowing, yes, because are they borrowing to pay salary? No, they are borrowing for development. Look at Ibadan Railway done. Ibadan to Lagos Railway done. Ibadan to Lagos Expressway about 97-98% completed. And likewise, when you look at all the infrastructural programs which this government has been able to do, as at the last count, this government has been able to tack close to almost 30,000 kilometers of roads in the country. And not only that, you can imagine a lot of agricultural innovation and intervention. Look at the COVID-19 pandemic.
Dr. Abdulaziz Olatide, would like to thank you most kindly for agreeing to speak with Galaxy TV. We thank you so much for your insight and your views. You said the president has been able to rescue Nigeria and indeed Nigerians. I'm wondering if Nigerians would agree with you on that. But that's a good place to anchor a conversation with you. Hopefully we'll get you on board some other time and get the opposition party as well to come react to some of the issues that you've raised. We'd like to thank you most kindly, outgoing Publicity Secretary on your state, All Progressive Congress, Dr. Abdulaziz Olatide. Thank you so much for your time on the program tonight.